It's the real word. It's the real word. We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Ace, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that's helped us to get this far, thus far. It's been a while, but we back like cooked crack. You already know. I'm here with my guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, my name is Nacci. Been in the investing game for a little minute. Might have seen me on Unbiased Podcast. We help put on businesses onto our platform, show them the opportunities of just being able to have more exposure and also get the black community more involved into pouring into black businesses, black-owned businesses that look just like us, instead of putting our money and our dollars in, the white community. So, that's just kind of who I am and what we do.
All right, you said a lot right there, so we're gonna break it all down one at a time. First, you talk about Unbiased, right? So, if you guys remember, if your memory is good, there was a conversation about light skin versus dark skin. They still talking about it. That was the last time I was on Unbiased show. Shout out to Marija, shout out to Harlem, shout out to the whole Uptown, man, 125th and all that. We see you. So I was on that podcast like 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
It had to be about maybe 2.
Yeah, it was a minute ago. He asked you a question about light skin versus dark skin girls, man.
Hey, let's throw one in.
Yeah, they still talk about it, man.
Yeah.
So tell people about the show and like what happened and where you guys at with that.
Yeah,
because I know it was the show and the clothing brand and everything you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot in terms of Unbiased. Like separate from me, because I also have my own business. Unbiased in particular, it's focused more or less just. We're on season 4 right now. Trying to focus on Harlem businesses in that area, give them more of like a platform, because there's a lot of people in the community, but they might not know of the black businesses within that community.
Okay.
So like the whole perspective around Unbiased is just more or less giving them a perspective of, hey, instead of putting your money in other businesses that don't look like us or ran by people that look like us, why not pour into the black businesses that are right here, right? So it might be clothing, jewelry, beauty. Like we have entrepreneurs that look just like us that are doing the same thing, if not even better, with natural products in that nature. So it's like for us, it's like, hey, like let's just give them a platform in Harlem. We're also looking at other businesses like in Brooklyn and Queens and Bronx. We're going to expand and branch out, but that's kind of just what Unbiased is. And we also have a clothing brand attached to it as well.
Facts. One thing I could say about Harlem is growing up, I always saw that they always have black entrepreneurs in Harlem,
Yeah.
From when we go back to the Apollo Theater, when we go back to 125th, even now, if you go to 125th, you see the Muslims selling the oil, selling the incense, people selling clothes, hoodies, the Africans, of course, Nigerians. It's always been a hustle, grind type situation, and that was always the black mecca where black people went, made money, or black people with money went and bought houses. I remember, and then you could say like drugs hit Harlem at a certain point, and then it changed, and then gentrification hit Harlem, and then it changed again.
Yeah, still waiting right now for sure.
Yeah, of course. So we've seen the different changes that Harlem went to. And remember, like the black entrepreneurial part of Harlem, a lot of people compare that to the drug game, because during that time, a lot of people in Harlem were dealing drugs. We had the Buppy Johnsons, we had the Frank Lucases, we had all those people from Harlem that was getting money. Up until the newer age with Alpo, AZ, all those guys, the other generation that came. And then we see music, because music hit Harlem too. We had the Diplomats, of course, that was well known out of Harlem. Dame Dash, serial entrepreneur out of Harlem. And then we had A$AP Rocky, he's also from Harlem, We had a lot of different people that come up out of there, that, changed the way that the culture was shaped.
Right, in terms of entrepreneurship. And the biggest thing, though, because like we've interviewed people like within the community who own businesses, and then they're seeing like black dollars, like people just going downtown to get their stuff and then coming back to Harlem. It's just like, let's not do that. Like we got whatever downtown got, we got it up here in Harlem now too. So it's like that's kind of like that whole entire ecosystem. It's like whatever you could find outside of Harlem, I'm pretty sure you could find it in here first. You feel me? So yeah.
So do you feel like people feel safe enough to do business in Harlem?
If you know who you're working with, for sure.
One of the things I did research on that went on a lot in Harlem, where a lot of people was able to build a lot of money, was rent parties, right?
Yeah.
Rent parties was during the time when that was before the blacks. I'm sorry, that was before the brownstone era, where blacks were able to own the whole building. They would rent like small rooms within the buildings that was owned by other people, and in order to pay the rent, they would throw a party to pay the rent. And from there, the mafia, the Italian mafia, came in and just opened up clubs. I think it was the Supper Club, was it? Or which club was it? The famous club that was owned in Harlem by the white gangster.
Completely forgot.
I think
you might be right though.
I think it was a Supper Club.
Yeah, you might be right.
And then other people started creating their own clubs.
Yeah.
And then I remember the mob started extorting them.
Yeah.
And to get money from those other clubs, so they weren't able to produce as much, and they would use the building department. They would use the building department, and they would use NYPD to help shut down the black clubs so that they could make more money.
It was a monopoly at that point.
Yeah.
Trying to monopolize it.
Yeah, from what I was told. So it started up as rent parties, and then they went to bigger venues, and eventually the biggest venue in Harlem was the Apollo Theater right now.
Apollo Theater for sure.
Yeah, so even that was black owned.
That was black owned.
Yeah.
People didn't really know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still black owned.
It was black owned. But I'm not, we're going to have to fact check that.
No.
I think the CEO is black.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So, you also talked about the black dollar. Let's focus on that. The black dollar being circulated within the black community, right?
Yeah, that's a big
They said 9 times out of 10 when a black person gets paid, they spend their dollar with everybody but their own people,
exactly.
right? They said that we could use another comparison, the Hasidic Jews, right? And their dollar only circulates within their community and no one else.
Facts.
Like they'll go, the women will go buy a wig from people that look like them.
Exactly.
They only buy from kosher supermarkets that sell their food.
Exactly.
They only go to certain tailors that make their clothes, and they only deal with certain people within their own community, which made their community self-sufficient, you can say.
Yep.
But when it comes to black people, we look within our community, we see the Chinese food stores, Chinaman. We see the corner store, the Ak, the Yemen, the Arab, and then we have the laundromat. And it's most likely Chinese. A lot of times they own the laundromats, or the Hispanics work in the laundromats. We got the Koreans for the cleaners, then West Indians for the restaurants most of the time. The supermarkets are owned by the Dominicans for the most part. They get the fruits from their country, and they get the Goya plug. That helps them fill up the shelves.
Yeah, if we talking about the farmers markets. Markets for sure.
Yeah, for the most part. But even regular supermarkets, mostly owned by Dominicans. Well, in my neighborhood, I would say. So given all of that, then the buildings are mostly owned by, either corporations or families that had it for generations, Not a lot that owned by us. So let's just say I get paid tomorrow. I get my check, I gotta pay Con Ed, we don't own that. I gotta pay National Grid, we don't own that. I gotta pay Cablevision, we don't own that. I gotta pay my phone bill, we don't own that. No telecommunications companies owned by a man of color in America. Then I gotta pay for, clothes. I gotta go to the cleaners, I gotta go to work every day. I gotta pay the cleaners, I gotta go to the market, gotta pay them. I'm probably hungry after that. Drop off, get something fast from Chinese. By the time I get home now, I turn on the TV. We don't manufacture any televisions or any furniture or any carpets. So it's like, by the time that whole check is gone, really none of that money was spent with my people. Probably the most money I spent with black people was probably at church paying tithes. And that establishment is not owned by people that look like me neither. So it's like the people locally might look like you and I, but the people on top do not look like us. So it's like, where within that scope did I spend $1 with a black person?
Not a single point in time. I mean, that's why it's crucial to, I guess, put black businesses on a platform so people can see the options out there. Like, if you substitute going to L'Oreal for your beauty products, you might hear from home buyers, hey, there's a black-owned business that sell natural products. You feel me? So you can substitute going to L'Oreal to going to a black-owned business, right? So we can't necessarily, I guess, dominate the conversation in terms of how you manage your finances and where you spend your money, but we can still introduce other options and other resources that could help.
Such as?
I mean, support where support is needed. Feel me? So a lot of black businesses need support in terms of, like, they have clothing brands, right? So that's probably like the main one people start with. And
the main thing people complain about is the quality sometimes with these clothes.
That is true.
Sometimes, you get only 1-2 washes and it starts to bubble up crazy.
That is also true. So that depends on the manufacturer that's manufacturing the product and all that. And another business that black people also own or have a lot, I did mention, well, I know a lot of people who do beauty and make natural products.
Yeah,
so that's also skincare. That's a big thing as well. Hair businesses, which is another big thing, and also podcasts, black-owned podcasts. I think that's also important. So if we support, it's free at the end of the day. It don't really cost much to support somebody. You know what I mean? But like when you see somebody that looks like you that's actually starting, support is very much needed. So I think that's, I guess, one step in the right direction in doing that.
So we were just talking about that support and podcasts and where he's at, right? So I started this podcast maybe back in 2016, 2017. We officially started the Real Word Ministries Incorporated, the company, in 2018. That's when we got the 501c3 status from the IRS, making us a non-profit organization, right? So since then, from there to now, we've been working almost 10 years. So when it comes to support, we didn't receive a lot of support from within our community. We can't say we received support as in people showed up to have the conversation. But once we got too big, they was like,
they start acting weird.
F these niggas. Because they think you made it before you make it. And then, like, the crab in the barrel mentality. And then outside of that is like financial support.
Right.
Like, whenever I do my fundraisers, like, I get an average of, I'll say, between $10 to $50 from donors that look like you and I.
It's crazy.
And when I say that, most people are giving like between $10 and $20. If I'll say like maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 people give $50 to $100.
Okay.
And at one point, I was getting majority of the money from corporations, from corporate donors, like corporate sponsors, and they would give like $1,000, $1,200, or they would give in-kind donations. And someone told me, why you keep going to people that don't look like us to get help for us? Because the people that look like us are not trying to help each other.
Yeah, I don't think they understand.
Unfortunately, and some of it is not their fault, because some of them don't have it to help each other. They need to help themselves.
True.
So, like, it puts us in a state, like, I feel like the black bourgeoisie is a very small population. When I say the black bourgeoisie, I'm talking about blacks that have like over $1 million of net worth. Like, that's around us regularly.
Right.
That can help, like other cultures call those angel investors, right?
True. Yes.
And in non-profit organizations, they call those seed donors, like people that donate enough where the company could have run. We don't really have that. Like, some of them, like, here, hold $5 million. This hold you down for the next 10 years. Do something. Like, even though I'm asking for donations, I might get $1,000, $2,000. I know I got $5 million in the stash. Like, I'm gonna stretch it out. If I gotta go on a budget of $500,000 a year up until this money runs out, I know at least I got 10 years off this 5 million. Then I could hire people, I could work, I could work places.
Yeah, you gotta work.
Yeah, I don't gotta work a 9 to 5 to fund my company. Then I'm not controlled by these corporate giants because I'm working for another corporation to fund my company. You understand? Like, people don't take all that into consideration.
They don't see the behind the scenes, and that's what's hard about it. And I also understand the conversation. You might not got it to support. I get that. Like, money is tight, especially now. Like, inflation, people are struggling. So I'm not expecting you to give me $1,000 for it. I promise you, I'm not. But there's other ways to support besides cash, right? Like, nowadays, content is king. So at the end of the day, like, I can create content. If you don't share or repost, what does that tell other people who don't look like us? Like, our own community doesn't even repost that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
When it comes to content, though, like, yes, sharing helps the algorithm a lot, but
100%.
you gotta have like hundreds of shares for it to hit the algorithm.
True. That's
And most of the time, promotion now on social media, you gotta pay. Like, they built that into it now.
Right.
They built it into it. Like, hey, you gotta pay to play, and if your budget's not at least $100, the minimum, you're not coming in front of people. Like, you know, you could see like, okay, $100 get you between, I'll say, 10 to 30,000 views around there of promotion. Let's just say before $1,000 could get you $1 million of promotion. It's not that anymore. You know, so we gotta look at it from a sense like, why these big corporations pay for commercials on television, YouTube, radio, Super Bowl. They're paying millions of dollars to get in front of millions of people. So us, we starting something in like our room, and we just putting it up, and we think people are gonna watch it. Meanwhile, these big companies are spending millions of dollars to put it in front of millions of people. A lot of people don't think of that concept.
Nah, they don't. But here's how I also look at it, about it too. If you're really serious about your business, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to be consistent each and every single day, regardless if people see it or not. You feel me? Like, you could post a post right now, right? This might go up. You might get like thousands of views, but then you might only see like a couple people like it. That just tells me that, yeah, there's people watching, but they still hating at the same time.
Of course.
You understand? So for me, it's just like, okay, cool. Like,
but that's cool because they still support. They're watching.
Right. Like, so for me, as long as you're still consistent, because you don't need 1 million people to watch your stuff. As long as it hits the right person, like, once your post hits the right person in front of their face, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I like this guy. Like, I like this kid. Let me get in contact with them. Because at the end of the day, like, as long as your post hits the right person and you get in front of the right people, you could get so many, and God could bless you with so many different opportunities like you never even thought of. And you were just sitting here just like, oh, I was just posting this for my bedroom. Like, I didn't even know this was going to come about.
Facts.
You know? So, like, all it takes is just one post.
I can say that.
The right person in front of the right person.
And I can use myself as an example, right? Back in 2014, 15, I preached my first sermon, right? And it was in a small church before we even reached this. Like, this is a $2 million building, you know? This was years ago. We used to be at Hebron School, and I remember we had like 50, 60 people in the church, if that. And then I remember Stefan, shout out to Stefan.
Shout out to Stefan.
That has Blissful Stills down. He started a company from that. But he used to film my sermons. He used to film them, and then he used to edit them. And when he's edited them, I put them online, and then someone was like, yo, you gotta dumb it down for these people. Like, no one's gonna sit there 30, 45 minutes, an hour sermon. He said, cut it up, and make it emotional. So I started watching all the other emotional, motivational speaking. Like, I used to just listen to motivational. One, you gotta have the music in the background playing. Two, you gotta have like engaging content. It has to be clean, crisp video, but then also like, now they got the subtitles at the bottom, because it's one thing for them to watch it, they gotta read it at the bottom too sometimes, and then you gotta have a turning point. Now we lucky there's AI. Like, AI, you just run the video through it and it throws out the clips for you. Back then we had to cut them up ourselves. And I remember my church being small, and I remember me and Stefan working, and I didn't even think nothing was gonna come of it. And one day I woke up and I went viral. Like, I saw on Facebook, I had 600 notifications, like people just hitting me up. And then people just started adding me. And then they was hitting me up from all over, and I was like, wow. And then I looked at like, oh, this is what they mean by going viral. And then I was like, okay, so what do I do? Because I knew realistically, I'm not preaching in a church every week. Like, this is coming from 2-3 sermons a year, just chopping it up and just running it for the whole year. So then I was like, okay, what can I do to have casual conversations with people that won't step into a church, but can meet them where they at? And that's when the Real Word Ministry came. It's like giving them the real word. Yeah, giving them the real word. And what is the real word? Then I went to the book of Matthew, Jesus Christ, right? Meeting them where they at, food, clothing, shelter. Jesus fed thousands. You know, he healed the sick, healed the blind. But then he was like, yo, be careful if you follow me, for the fowls of the air have nests, the foxes of the ground has nests, but the Son of God has no place to lay his head.
Right.
So it's like, yeah,
it's not gonna be easy.
It's not gonna be an easy journey at all. And you know, people gonna leave you, people gonna abandon you. But if this is what you want to do, like, there's gonna be a reward at the end of it.
Right.
Like here, we sitting in one of the rewards, right? Back then, we wouldn't think we had a $2 million building that we bought cash. You know, back then we was in a church with like holes in the ground. You know, hoping with no heat, hoping things come together. You know. But that's just trusting in the process. And like you said, a lot of things did come. Like obviously, a lot of things came from it. You know, we have an award-winning company. Like we've been published in newspapers for our work. Like, you know, we've received awards. You know, we've been able to travel the world and help other people in different countries, including our own Haiti. You know, and helping people from all 5 boroughs here, and even going and working with Franco-Haitian. You know, working with Franco-Haitian, working in different churches, helped us to touch different communities within the Haitian community. Right. Even me and you guys, you know, that happened within Franco-Haitian, you know. And then eventually I became the coordinator for I Serve Compassion outreach for Franco-Haitian, and we did a lot with that. You know, I was able to unite the churches and do a lot of community service during the time I was there. So all of that worked together. That's like what the Bible said, all things work for the greater good.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And it started off from one thing, like just you preaching in 2014, Stephon cooking it up, like you went viral. Real World is now birthed. It's crazy, like, and look at where you are now. Purchase $2 million building. I wish I could purchase $2 million building. So it's like, yo, be consistent at what you at. Like, work at your craft. People who gonna come and support, they're gonna come and support.
Yeah, facts.
You know. So I think that support factor is crucial, because again, like, we can sit up here and act as if like we got it all together. For me personally, I don't have it all together, right? But at the end of the day, like, if you see a brother that's starting up something from the ground up, for me, the more hands that are being put into it, the faster and the stronger the foundation will be long term. Yeah,
we have a Haitian parable. Please, yeah, man, faire shaila palu, meaning multiple hands cause the load not to be heavy.
Right.
Yeah, facts. So, who has been, or what has been one of your biggest supporters throughout your journey?
One of my biggest supporters, I would definitely say a group of brothers I have around me, for sure. A group of brothers. I would probably first say my older brother. He's an interesting guy, but
why you say that?
If you meet him, you know.
Okay.
So definitely my older brother. He's probably my primary source of support, for sure.
Okay.
Like, whatever I'm down to do, he's like, all right, cool. Like, this is what you're trying to do. All right, here's the game plan. This is how you should go about doing it. He'll give me solid advice, and you know, sometimes I might be a knucklehead. I may or may not listen, but I know at the end of the day, like, worst comes to worst, it's gonna be in my corner. But then definitely Eli, definitely Joe, definitely Reggie. Like, those are my brothers for sure. Ryan, Gio.
I usually see you guys together. I usually see you guys together.
Yeah, we roll together. Those are my guys for sure, man. You know, if they need me, I'll show up for them, and then vice versa. You know what I mean? So as long as we got each other, I think we'll be good for whatever.
I can say church keeps you within that family consistently. Like, you know how school is like, once you get to the next grade, sometimes you see the people, but then after a while they disappear.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
And then like when you go to the next school, it's like mad people you went to school with just disappeared. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that. And
like,
you don't keep in touch anymore.
But even you can't even find them on Facebook sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you Google them, they don't pop up at all. you're like, wait.
I used to know.
Yeah, like, I thought I was the only one.
No. It was done me too. Cause like, I know a lot of listen. I was cool with a lot of people growing up, and now I'm trying to search them up. Like, yo, you don't even exist. Not even on LinkedIn. Like,
one time I took out my yearbook, and I started going through people, like Googling. A lot of them didn't show up. The only ones that showed up are the ones that I'm still in contact with.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then we see jobs. Like, jobs is like seasonal, you know?
That's also true.
People are just there for a season, and when you leave jobs, like, you could be at a job and someone could act like they mad cool with you. As soon as you do the job, you were here for them. You're like, huh? So it's like, church is the most consistent. Even though
very consistent.
it's once a week, you still see those people consistently once a week.
But also too, like, I feel like with churches is cool. What's so cool about church is that, like, it's an experience, because like, it's almost like you grow with these people over time. You know what I mean? So like, you go through, like, even if you don't see them every day, like, even just meeting them once a week, like you grow up with them. You've seen the changes over time. You build a stronger bond, and this is just not based off of like going to school with them, because those come and go. Not with the job, those come and go. But church is consistent, and having those relationships, especially based off faith, I mean, those last forever.
Facts.
You know.
Facts. Yeah, that's true. And plus, you have more things in common with people that go to your church.
Yeah, that's true.
You got faith, you got culture, family beliefs, morals. You know, so you're more so intertwined with those people. I feel like.
Very familiar. Like, you know my family, I know yours. You could come to my crib and you wouldn't question these so spotty game. You know what that is.
Yeah.
When you compare to having a white friend, what's this? I'm like, nah, you're not gonna question my mama's food. Like, you gonna eat it.
So what about, speaking of support in church, what about the people that leave church that feels because they're not supported? We hear that a lot.
That's church hurt, bruh. That's a bigger topic.
I mean, we talking about it.
That's a big topic. I personally haven't really experienced church hurt to the level where I have to leave church.
But you heard about it, or you
definitely heard or seen it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Seeing other people experience it, and I feel like if you're going to church for people, you're not going to church for the right reasons. To be honest,
true.
Like, you have to know your own intentions as to why you're going to church. You feel me? If you're going to church simply because you have faith in God and you appreciate the community around you, okay, cool. But if somebody who talks bad about you or talks behind your back is the reason why your faith is shaky or wavering, you're not going to church for the right reasons. So, although I understand church hurt in a community, like, there are going to be growing pains when you're within a community. You're not going to be friends with everybody inside your community.
No, you're not.
But one thing the Bible always does say is that don't abandon your church. You feel me? Don't abandon them, because at the end of the day, when life gets rough, you're going to have to lean on them.
But the Bible says that a prophet is less received within his own home, right?
Yeah, Jesus said it himself. You know, even in his hometown, they wanted to kill him and throw him off of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus still loved them at the end of the day. There's a difference between love and access. Not everybody accesses Jesus, but Jesus still loved them at the end of the day. You feel me? He never really abandoned them. You know, so there's a big difference for sure.
Do you feel like church plays or your faith plays a big part within your business?
Definitely. If I don't have God in my business, I would be broke and homeless right now.
Why you say that?
You know, because I say that personally because, like, I'm very much a visionary, and I feel like God puts a lot of things in my mind for me to execute. And I know for me, at the end of the day, I like to execute at the same time. So it's like, even though I might not know the steps ahead of me, I'm still going to take the action and take that step. That's just how I am. I might not have all the information. I might not have done all the research, but I'm going to take that step in faith at the end of the day. So, yeah, I definitely do believe that God plays a big factor in business, for sure.
Do you feel like faith is almost like gambling, or no?
Nah, faith can't be gambling.
What's the difference?
Because gambling, you don't necessarily believe in the outcome. Gambling is more or less like you throwing it up in the air.
But you're hoping that something comes back.
Right, but there's a difference between, I believe, there's a difference between, faith is kind of what, I feel like faith is more solidified, as in, like, it's on a stronger foundation. Like, I can believe in Christ, but belief is like kind of like the foundation to faith. That's how I see it. Hope is like you don't necessarily believe. It's like you kind of throw it up in the air kind of thing. So that's why I kind of differentiate hope and faith. Hope, you can have hope and not necessarily believe in it 100%. Like, I hope I could go home today, but that doesn't mean I believe I'm gonna make it home. You feel me? If I say I have faith, I'm gonna make it home, there's a belief to that.
But faith is the belief in the things unseen, right?
Yeah.
So what's hope? Like throwing dice against the wall and hoping it hit your numbers?
Yeah, that's up to chance. Yeah, that's up to chance. You feel me? God is not a roll of dice. You feel me? God is for real. He's real life. You know.
So what are some ways that we can keep the money within the black community, but also improve our faith in black businesses, because I think that's what a lot of black people don't have faith in each other to do business a lot of times, and that hurts us.
They be slamming each other for sure.
Yeah, of course.
They be slamming each other.
There's a lot of scammers in our community. We're not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know a couple. To your first question though, like how do we keep the black dollar within our community? I mean, I think the first part is always awareness. The second part is execution. So with Unbiased, that's just kind of the first step. You have the awareness, but the second step to that is the execution, right? Like what keeps Jewish people investing into other Jewish people is building that trust within Jewish people, having that level of transparency and understanding of knowing that, okay, like they got my back and I got them.
But that's faith, because it's their faith that connects them.
That is also true, exactly. So a lot of us, we're very diversified in our faith. There's people in Catholic, Catholic, agnostic, atheist, we're Adventist. So, but us not having the same belief or faith or foundation, it's like, how can we really trust you in terms of community and investing in each other? You know what I mean?
So what are some Adventist businesses that's doing business with each other that we can put faith in?
Me and you.
That's an easy one.
I mean, I forgot how we came in contact, to be honest, but like,
I think you hit me up on,
I think
maybe it was you. One of you guys hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah, hit you up on Instagram. I seen
Off the Unbiased page. Yeah.
Right. I think I seen you at the gala too, the back in 2024.
Oh, the previous one I had the red suit.
Yeah.
Everybody seen that red suit? Everybody, why you came with a red suit, bro?
That was a good suit. That was a good suit. I ain't gonna lie.
Something different, man.
So I think Eli might have introduced himself to you or something like that along those lines. I'm like, hey, I think I might want to get in contact with him. I feel like he's doing good work inside the community. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like, we share the same faith, and I also see what you do. For me, having the heart that I have, I want to support. So it's like, okay, let's put him on our podcast, and then now we're here too, like, and vice versa. So we share that same faith. If we see good and we share the same faith, why not reach out? Like Stephon too, like in terms of like Franco Haitian, like making merch for Franco Haitian. He's seen our stuff. He was like, yo, let's collab, let's make something work. I feel like having those partnerships and networking on that level, just not being afraid to reach out, could create like wonders.
So speaking of the red suit, which suit was better, the red suit or the white suit at the gala?
I think the red suit really broke people's necks.
Why you think that though?
I think it was just unexpected, I guess. I think I'll probably go with white personally. I mean, I don't know about Eli, but for me personally, I'll probably go with the white. But the red
Depends on this theme.
It also depends on the theme too.
I think the red one went with the theme that year. Yeah.
And then last year was the Winter Wonderland, so I did the white.
You know.
Man, I had that suit in the stash for a minute. And that's another thing, that the white suit was actually created by a black designer that saw me on Instagram, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna send you this suit to promote my business. And he sent it to me a year ago before that gala, and I had it the whole time in the closet.
Where are you from?
I don't know. I don't know where they're located. And I tagged them in the post.
Interesting, because we interviewed somebody who makes suits in Harlem. Harlem Haberdashery.
Wow.
Shout out to them.
But I took the suit and then, like, I kind of changed it. Like, I bought gold buttons off Amazon. I custom it. I tailored it. I changed the buttons to gold accents, so I put it white and gold. Because in my mind, I was thinking of like a naval sailor's outfit, or almost like kind of like that.
That theme.
Yeah, like I wanted to make it look more elegant a little bit, so I did all that.
Okay,
So it came out right. But yeah, that's an example of business. You know, they see me on. That happens a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, a lot of people reach out to me and they send me free merch, or they send me free services, or they send me free items. Like, most recently, I got free legal service. Like, someone, a company reached out, Will's Trust and Estate, and they helped me draft a trust account and a will for free, just for a shout out, you know?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, so I got a lot of things at home that I get in the mail.
Yeah, I mean, that's good though, because that's the power of networking. I think your network is not defined by how much you have, but defined by your network. You feel me? Like, who you're in contact with. You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you know? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people who are in a position of power, they don't necessarily care about how much money you got. You feel me? Like, but how do you get into the room? You feel me? Like, who do you know?
like Henry Ford, right? Henry Ford is the one that, the creator of Ford Motor Company. So he was brought in front of Congress because he had gotten so rich at one point. And it was like, how are you able to do so much? And he was like, because they was like, you don't have the skills, you don't possess the skills to be able to do all these things. And then he brought his Rolodex to court and it was like, this is what helps me. And he was like, he's like, I might not have the information, I might not have the skill, but someone in this Rolodex have it, or they know someone that has it.
Right.
I just gotta switch to it, and all they need is money, and that I have plenty of. So it's like all the power's there now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, okay.
That's good though. Yeah, I mean, I think the more we adopt that, because a lot of us, I feel like we afraid to put ourselves out there in the sense like, hey, this person might not even want to like reach out, or they just might not feel comfortable. Because if you have that mindset, you're gonna halt yourself from future success. Like you don't know, like us reaching out to you, we didn't know if you were gonna text back or anything like that, or or Sanders or like anybody we invite on to our podcast. We have no idea if they're going to respond back.
Facts.
But as long as it's out there, you know what I'm saying, I think that's important. And when they reach back out, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, even though I had no expectation of this happening, you actually reached out. It's like, okay, that's the power of this network. And like, okay, now we could work. Like, let's create something.
Like you told me the other day, you met Sydney, and the other day I was talking to Sid, and I'm like, yo, who do you think we should get on the show? And he said, you. And I was like, where? He said, yeah. I said, all right. So I reached out to you. And then you was like, yeah, I'm going to pop out. I'm going to come. I said, oh, word? I called him. I said, yo, he's coming. And he's like, damn, I got work, man. And I was like, so you got to find another guest for next time you come on. He was like, man. Yeah, because he wanted to pop out. But
Oh, yeah, Sydney's cool people.
Yeah. But I think that's the whole power of networking. Because I think the older generations, even within our churches, they were more about being bougie and sticking to their cliques.
Yeah.
And the new generation is more so they want to meet everybody.
Collaborative.
Yeah.
That's how wealth is created, man. I'm telling you, like, the more we can collaborate, we can take it. Because again, I'm thinking about like the large, like 10 years from now, there's an agenda against black people, regardless if you like it or not. But there's an agenda to have 0% wealth. Or just not being able to own anything. Like, that's an actual agenda.
Why do you say that?
Like 0% ownership.
Whose agenda would that be?
Well, I mean, if you want to stay alive.
Oh, yeah. All right. So why do you think that agenda is there, and how do you think that agenda is functioning?
I mean, we already know that the system is made against us. You know what I'm saying? So we already got to fight to get seen. You know what I mean? And the wealth gap is only going to continuously increase. You know what I mean? Like, we went from not being able to invest in the stock market 50 years ago. Us as black people, like, we looked at Wall Street like it was some bougie club. Now Wall Street looked like us. What do you think the government is going to end up doing? You feel me? This is going to create more barriers and restrictions for us to actually participate and be a part of the game. You know what I mean? So it's like the more people we could get onto the game as fast as possible to collaborate and work and build wealth right now, 10 years from now, it would be no question about black people have 0% ownership of anything. Like, it would be like, nah, we created a community based off what we have access to right now.
Yeah, but my people lost due to a lack of knowledge. You don't have to have a lot of money to build wealth. Like the simplest way to build wealth that a lot of people do is create a trust, get life insurance, put life insurance in the trust.
I don't even know what life insurance is.
Yeah, let's just say you get cheap life insurance. Not even a lot. Let's just say you get like maybe $250,000, maybe $250,000. You're probably paying like what? Like on a healthy young person, maybe $60,000, $70,000, $60 or $70 a month.
Right.
So once that person dies, you get $250,000. That $250,000, you could buy a house. That house will go up in value. Then it builds equity. Let's say 250 goes up to 500. You got 250,000 equity. You can pull that 50,000. 1, 2, 3. Three more properties you can invest in. Easy. That's $1 million now net worth. But just in one generation. Right. Once one person dies, the whole next generation is rich now.
Exactly.
So it's like
it's not hard, but you know that there's a lot of people who don't. You feel me? So it's not even about like not having the information. It's just or not having access to them. They just don't know.
But a lot of people block you, bro. Ignorant people block you. Okay, let's use this building for example, right? It took me almost a year and a half to do closing on this building. If I tell you I was the only one from this church working on this deal, we have over 20 elders in this church, and they're all older than me.
Yeah, so so you the only one working basically.
Yeah,
they don't understand.
And in my mind, I'm thinking once the building is bought, my job will be done.
Nah.
We bought the building, bro. The building sat here 3 months empty.
That's crazy.
And they all kept saying, they kept looking at me like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? This time, bro, I was here late nights, all night long with like my tenants, people that live in the property that we own, and like other people, I guess that owe debts to me.
Okay.
They painted hair like this, bro. They did this work, bro. it's like, come on. It's like, you know, we found these furnitures and furnished the building the way it was. It's like, and that was through my nonprofit. Like, you know, people make donations to nonprofits, like in kind. Sometimes they donate cars, furniture, clothes, art, different things, you know. So that's how we got them. So, but even at one point, like, let's just say I tell them, yo, we gotta buy 4 gallons. Four big gallons of paint, right? Each one costs maybe $135 for the big tubs. They're like, oh no, that's too much. We can't do it right now. So I had to go and make a $10,000 credit line at Lowe's just to get the work done. Once it's done, they all come and get their offices because all the offices are furnished and painted now. But before, we don't need the offices. We just need the sanctuary to praise God.
But they don't
as soon as all the offices done, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine.
Yeah, that's how they go. They don't know what they need until you actually present it to them, you feel me?
Like right now, we need a hot water boiler, right? We had committee. I'm like, yo, we need a hot water boiler. Oh, let's find out how much it costs. I already found out. It's on the phone. Just Google.
Right.
It's like, no, you know, Lowe's, Home Depot, Google it. It compares all the prices right there in a carousel. Just move your thumb sideways. They're like, oh yeah, we gotta think more about it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you our 2 options. If I get it from Home Depot, y'all gotta give me the money. If I get it at Lowe's, I can buy it on credit, bring out a receipt, and y'all give me my money back. Which one y'all want to do now? Oh, call us in a week. We'll figure it out.
They're figuring it out. It's not really figuring it out. You gonna have the same conversation again.
Something that could have got resolved that day.
Exactly.
It's still not resolved right now.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got in committee, you know what happened? It was 5 people outside the room screaming, "We don't have hot water! We don't have hot water!"
Right.
Duh, the tape is not working. It's like, yo, like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, what are we talking about?
Ridiculous, man.
And then I'm like, yo, this is the cheapest one we could buy. One person said, we don't need the cheapest one because what if it breaks down? I'm like, I already know if I get an expensive one, they're going to complain it's too expensive.
Yep.
But if I get the cheaper one, oh, why you got the cheaper one?
But this is what back to the whole creating wealth thing. What they don't understand is like, you worry about the small stuff right now.
Exactly.
This building is gonna be worth freaking $10 million in like 2 years, bro.
Yeah.
So you in Brooklyn?
Because technically we bought it cheap during the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, what
And
you doing is a favor.
ironically enough, this building was held in trust for another family that was rich.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they don't know. Like this is
Like,
really building up for the church. In just a couple of years.
Technically for the conference.
Well,
Technically.
but this is still a property that's appreciated over time, is what I'm saying. It's like creating wealth is not hard per se. It's just having.
But it's not easy neither.
It's not easy.
If it was, everybody would be rich.
True. And also too, like I also feel like people are just not motivated. You could give them you could give them the option, you could give them the answer, you could give them the playbook.
Of course.
And they still not execute.
Like the Section 8 playbook. Like people were telling me this for years. Like Williamsburg, let's use that as them because I'm familiar with Williamsburg. Where he said that in a Hasidic Jewish community, the men own the buildings and the women have Section 8 paying for the buildings that their husbands own.
Okay.
Everybody was saying that for years. It was like, hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Until a Caucasian man went upstate New York to a similar community and started interviewing them, and his video went viral. It had like over 3 million views.
Interesting.
And he was like, what do you guys do? None of you work, but you guys have money. What's going on? What's going on? He's like, oh, you guys on welfare? He's like, yes. You know how they are, yes. They didn't want to talk or they brush you off or they mumble something and walk off. So the guy was like, and then what the guy said, I'm in construction. He's like, so how do you have money? My wife. And it was like, are you on welfare? Yes. How many kids you got? 10.
Damn.
10 kids? So what do you do all day? I study. And he ran into like 20 people like that in the whole town.
That's wild.
But in the whole town, it's only them within that whole community.
That's also very one important thing because that's how they operate. Period. Like,
it works.
hey, yo.
Don't break something that don't work. Because if you think about it, look, the woman really just wants the wedding.
To be honest.
So if you give her a beautiful wedding, everybody gonna think y'all married anyways.
Yeah, right.
And then if y'all in the crib together, y'all got the kids, you give her 10 kids, she ain't going nowhere. Where she gonna go with the 10 kids?
It's crazy, though.
And you own 3 buildings, you own the block. Like
the whole lot.
He's like, yo.
Your cousin in there, your mom's in there.
Like, where you gonna go? So it's like, you know, so it works.
Yeah, and they keep it within the community.
And the money stays in there.
It stays, man, and they continue to build and grow. Like that's what I want to replicate.
And they don't have to work.
Exactly.
They could use time to study.
Exactly.
They could study law, science, mathematics.
Right. And they're sitting on cash.
Yeah.
All sitting on cash. Like, if we could get there, that would be a dream. But yo,
I was watching another video, and this guy was like, "Yo, when did you get your first car and your first house?" He said, "I got my first car and my first house when I became a man." He was like, "What age you became a man?" He said, "I became a man at the age of 10." This at the age of 10. He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." That was his bar mitzvah. He said, "Yeah, I got a house and a car. That's for my bar mitzvah."
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I got a house and a car for my bar mitzvah. I became a man.
Nah.
He's like, "Yeah, my dad felt I was a man, so he gave me a house and a car." I was like, "Yeah, you a man, so go live your life." I'm like, yo, like.
But they set them up early though.
Yeah.
But there's ways we could do that too. Like having a custodial account for our children up until like 18 or something.
But even something simple, like throwing a party like a bar mitzvah where enough people that have money come and give you money. Because if you think about it, the only time we really get money from our community is at weddings or birthdays. Like,
For the most part.
but we spending so much too at the same time, and we don't invite enough people to bring the money back in.
Exactly. So the net profit's not even there. You kind of like breaking even.
Exactly.
know?
Like, I'm gonna use my kid for example. On average, like at my kid's birthday party, she probably got like between $600 or $800
Okay.
for each party, right?
Okay.
But I'm probably spending like $1,000 on the party. So it's like, and that money probably goes to her. So it's like, you know. But imagine if all the people that came there was rich. That 800 turns to 8,000,
Right.
9,000, 10,000. So imagine 10,000 every year consistently up until 18.
Right. Imagine investing that too. You know.
Exactly. Every year you get the money you invested. You see the money.
Yeah, take out your initial investment and let the rest run.
Yeah.
I mean, you just watch it multiply over time. Like that's just the power of investing. You feel me? I feel like the
Compound interest.
Exactly. Like the money is just working for you at that point. Like you wake up, you see an extra $1,000 in your account. God bless. You know, like the investing is very powerful. I feel like that's probably one of the easiest ways people could start owning assets. Because for me, like my mindset is be an asset hoarder as much as possible. Hoard as much assets as possible. Because for us, we're liabilities rich and asset poor. I wonder why.
So what do you think some assets are good? Because I mean, one time they were saying NFTs.
Nah,
NFTs. But you seen that at that time. Everyone was
I
buying
didn't see it.
NFTs.
I didn't buy a single NFT myself.
Yeah.
I knew it was a fad.
Was it the Bull Monkey? Something like that? Board Monkey?
Board Ape Monkey.
Oh yeah, Board Ape.
Yacht Club. There was a whole.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of them.
There was a whole thing. They're not even worth. They might be worth $2 right now.
Yeah,
You know?
I remember one time people was buying them like crazy.
Yeah, it was a COVID thing. That was definitely not an asset at all. But a few assets would be, or I guess would be an asset class would be stocks and real estate and owning your own business. Like those are cash producing assets that'll help you make more cash on top of your cash.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Or you could buy you could buy a business that's already producing.
That is true. Yeah, a business. Yeah. Which is probably like a passive route, you feel me? You can go down real estate. It can be passive or active. A lot of real estate is active.
Of course.
I don't really, and there's a lot to real estate.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't
It's
really
a lot of work.
going into it.
Like
But yeah, stocks. I'm big on stocks personally.
I manage a few buildings and it's a lot of work, bro.
It's heavy.
And it stresses you out.
Full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full-time job. For sure. Do you invest?
Yeah, I do. But okay. I'll get personal. At one point, I had gotten a lot of money in credit, especially during the pandemic. I was able to get a lot of cash at one point, and then I was able to get PPP loans from my companies and then get them forgiven. So then I was able to up my credit, if that makes sense. At one point, I had a line of credit, probably like 100,000, 150,000, right? I ended up spending about $35,000 on it because we threw the gala, we went to Haiti, and we did a few other things. So I paid it down. So now my goal now, because it gave me a better understanding of how credit works. Not that I didn't have understanding.
You have a better, holistic.
Well, business credit versus personal credit.
Oh,
As in, if I did all of that on my business credit, it wouldn't affect my personal credit score.
Okay, yeah.
So, because it affected my personal credit score, I've had to use cash more, liquid, because of credit usage. Because once you hit 50%,
they're gonna,
like you still have credit there to use, but it's like you don't want to use it because the more you use, then the lower they limit your limits. Like I didn't know that neither. Like like they'll say, okay, we'll give you 10,000 on this, but then if you use like 4,000, it goes down to like 6,000.
Yeah.
So like that's the games that they play. And if it's at 10, then they bring it to 6, and you don't use 4. It's almost you at almost 80% usage. So it's like it messes you up. But it's like they're the ones playing with the score.
Exactly.
And if you look at let's say we got Wells Fargo, we got Chase, we got Citibank, we have Synchronous Bank. We have all these banks. Every single one is going to give you a different score, and I don't understand why. And they all going to give you different loans, but they all report to the same people.
Yes, so there's only like 3 major federal credit bureaus.
Yeah,
and they all like all the other banks, like regional banks, whatever. Like
they give you FICO scores too, but all their scores are different.
Exactly.
Not dramatically different, but a little different. Give or take 20, 30 points, depending on which one it is. So like. But if I did all of that under the business credit, none of it would reflect on my personal credit.
Right.
So that's what I learned from that experience. But I would say, like, to answer your question, in order to pay off my debts, I had to get all the money out of my investments. I had to cash out my investments to pay off the debts.
Got it.
Because from my research, it said that paying off your debts is always going to save you more money because there's no what's that word? Okay. There's no return I could get on that investment that will be more than the APR that I'm paying on the credit. You understand?
I see what you mean. But
okay. You see how recently the APR went high, but during the pandemic it was very low.
Yes.
Like the APR on credit cards, on car loans, on housing loans was very low. Then it went up. Like most of the time now it's like 12, 14, 23. On the average credit card is between 16 and 23%.
Right.
Like before it was like 10 and 12. And then at one point, probably lower. And then the cribs was like what, at 3.5, 2.8 at one time?
Buying cribs.
Yeah. So when it went back up to like 12, 16, 25, like I'm only making what, like less than 2% on the return sometimes.
On the investment?
On the investment, yeah.
What are you investing in?
What was my main investment?
Are you talking about real estate or like stocks?
Stocks. I'm talking about stocks.
2%?
It wasn't a lot, bro.
Dang!
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. I would say like 2, 5, 10 sometimes. Like I had the regular, I had Bitcoin, I had Ethereum, I had Vanguard.
Oh, you're into crypto.
Yeah, I had Vanguard. I had a lot of pharmaceutical companies. I owned stocks in Microsoft, Target, Tesla.
Okay.
All the blue chips they call it, right? Amazon, Amazon. I had all those. McDonald's. I probably got the highest returns on Tesla, McDonald's, and the pharmaceuticals. Okay. Yeah.
That kind of makes sense though.
But I made enough on my investments to pay off my debts to even everything out to start over. Okay. That would be the simplest way I could put it.
No, I get that though.
Because at one point I was putting all my money into investments. I was doing the round offs and I was doing automatic withdrawals in the dividends. Like, so every check I would get from my regular payments, it would go into the different accounts. So it would seed them off. So the goal was to put at least 2,000 to 3,000 in every account per year and let it multiply. Yeah. So then it's like when things are good, you got a lot of money there. When things are bad, it's a little slow. But when you need it, you pull it out and you pay, and then you even out. You start over. So for me, it was like, okay, should I wait for a return on all these investments to pay off the debts, or cash out on the investments to pay off the debts now, and then rebuild the money and then reinvest again later?
Okay. I mean, well, in your circumstance, it kind of makes sense because you're using your assets to kind of pay off your liabilities. So that kind of works.
Exactly. So I can have less liability, so I could be more financially free. Because once I get rid of all liabilities, then I'm
You should
more,
be fine.
I can maneuver way better.
Okay. Yeah, for that time period. But what about now? Like, are you?
Now I'm still using mainly cash. Like
You
for
never
the
investing?
yeah, I still got investments. Our biggest investments the properties, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
those
my real estate investment.
Yeah. The real estate investments have been the most lucrative.
Okay, that's good.
Throughout the years. Yeah. Because you could get creative, like you could chop up rooms, make room rentals, 800-900 a room.
Okay.
You got like 3 rooms, that's $999, you know?
Right.
So you get like 2,400, you get an apartment separate, you could do 1,000 of a bedroom, then you could go into, you could go into the city FEPs, the city vouchers. They paying what, 32 right now for a 3-bedroom, 3,200.
Okay.
So you have the space to be more liquid. But like the market of New York is that if you was in early, then you good. But if you coming in now, it's a head crack. Because 2-family houses in Brooklyn is selling for like $900,000-800,000 right now. You could enter the market. Let's just say you enter a market in Ohio. You could get a big crib for like $250,000, $300,000, $400,000.
Yeah.
Of course, but you can only charge them like $1,200 for rent. $1,000 for rent, $1,500 for rent. It's a different market.
Yeah.
More so, you charge them $1,200 to $1,500 to rent a whole crib in Ohio, and in Brooklyn, you charging $1,500, $1,200 for a room in a basement. Yeah, so it's like
For half.
so you know, it's like a different type of investment. You just get creative.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense as long as you're investing though in something. To be honest, because like I feel like that's also like, at least for me, like when I got into like investing like fully, like and I don't recommend anybody to do this, by the way, but like this is the main reason why I got like started investing like seriously. But I've been a market participant for like the past 5 years, like since I was like freaking sophomore in high school. But yeah, like I read Matthew 25 verse like 14 to 30. It was like the parable of the king with the 10 talents or something like that.
Okay, yes.
So I read that. After reading that, I was just like, so I'm wicked if I save? That's crazy. So I had about like 10, 12,000 in my high yield savings account. Do everything in investing. I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna have nothing in savings. I'll do everything in investing. I made like 3, 4, 5 racks in a couple of months. I was like, oh, investing is crazy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do this. I got really good at it. So it's like for me, like I'm seeing at least 20-30% year over year. You know,
That's
I try to
right,
keep that up.
Yes.
You know, so that.
But you're actively investing, that's like
yeah, for sure. Definitely active.
So you're doing like binary trading or no?
Nah, I used to trade. I used to be a big trader. Day traded, binary trading, all that. Swing. I use bots. Yo, everything. Again, like I've been a market participant since I was like 16, bro. So I went from the trading side to the investing side. So when I realized that the ups and downs and the volatility of trading was not for me.
Some people lose everything in one day.
Yo, I've made thousands and then lost it all.
Yeah.
And for me, I was
in like
okay.
seconds.
Yo, and people don't understand the level of anxiety and stress that comes with trading.
Yeah.
And as I got older in life, I'm like, nah, I need a level of consistency and stability. So I was like, all right, let me try investing. And I realized that investing is 10 times slower and easier than trading. So like when I got good in trading, I was like, why not just do investing? It just clicked, and yo, I'm just seeing just natural returns like this. Like I know what to invest in, when to get in, and when to get out. You know.
And now I'm guessing you're teaching other people how to do it.
Yeah, I definitely teach people. I like to teach it like it's the ABCs. I don't want to confuse anybody with investing. Usually you get it by the second or third time you meet me, to be honest with you. And you're basically a full-on investor. I got to show you from start to finish what a stock is to how to do technical analysis in 2 to 3 meetings, you know.
So let's just say someone that's a full-time investor like you, so they'll live off the dividends?
They'll more or less, well, first of all, in order to feed your assets, you need to have a consistent stream of income. So I don't recommend anybody to quit their jobs.
Okay.
You know, I'm not saying that you still need income to feed your assets until your assets are able to override your basic income that you're getting in, and you can live off of your assets. Then I'd say, okay, fire your jobs. Right, yeah, and kind of live off your returns for sure.
But you would have to have like a decent amount of returns to do that.
Yeah, I mean, what's your dream number? You feel me? Define that, and then live off of that. I'm not saying like, okay, for me, like I need to have at least 10 mil, and then I live off 5% of that every year. That's for me personally. You feel me? Somebody else's dream number might be different. They might be comfortable with 500,000. So define that. You feel me? And get your portfolio to that number, and then live off a percentage, not all of it, but a percentage to keep yourself disciplined.
So when you do that, like, you do withdrawals, or you just live off the returns?
You live off the returns.
Okay.
Live off the returns.
So now, when you get returns, do you automatically reinvest them, or do you cash them out?
Well, I'm not gonna cash out my entire portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No. I'm talking about just the returns. Like, when you get the returns, you see the returns. Like,
Yeah. So
and you have the option to reinvest it or to cash it out.
Yeah, true. So depending on what I like at the moment, whether it may be crypto or stocks, or depending on how the market moves. So 2026 is not going to be a good year for the stock market. 2027 is going to be. This is free game, by the way. But
why do you say 2026 is going to be a good year? Because of the war?
Nah, not even because of the war. The war don't even have an effect on the market. You feel me?
Well, the oil prices eventually.
No, the oil trade is different, but there are bigger factors that play when it comes to oil. I think a lot of what you see on social media is not what it is for real.
Okay.
But in terms of like the stock market and crypto, things move in cycles. So just like the dot-com bubble and the 2008 crash and then the pandemic, like things move in cycles. So 2026 is that year where there's going to be, first half we're seeing it's kind of like been stagnant. The second half of this year, I promise you, there's going to be some sort of drastic drop. People are going to start to panic. 2027 is going to be an all-time low. People are going to have, like, I guess, negative comments about stock market and investments and stuff like that. 2028 is going to start to pick back up. 2029, people will be buying up everything.
Why do you say that, though?
Things move in cycles. Even with Bitcoin, Bitcoin also moves in cycles. There's a 4-year cycle to Bitcoin. So we're in 2026. 4 years ago, 2022, Bitcoin dropped about 70 to 80%. You could actually do your research. Anybody, you can fact check me. Crypto dropped 70 to 80%. We're going to see the same thing in 2026. So, and just like in 2021, crypto hit an all-time high before dropping. 2025, it hit an all-time high of 126,000 before dropping in 2026. So, 2022, 2023 is going to be a very low year for crypto. 2026, 2027 is going to be a low year for crypto until it goes right back up. If you want to know the exact price I put all my money into crypto before it goes back up to 250,000 in 2028, 2029, join the community and I'll reveal my price.
All right. I think we almost at the time. So if you could leave people with a closing thought, what would be the closing thought that you would leave with them, and where can they find you and the information that you providing to Universe?
One closing thought is whatever vision you have to start with, like any business idea, whether may be getting into investing, whether may be getting into real estate, do that full-heartedly, to be honest with you, because the only person that's stopping you is you, and there's a reason why there's a vision in your heart, so you might as well go ahead and do it. Be an asset hoarder as much as possible, because again, there is an agenda against us. So try to work as hard as possible to gather as much assets as possible, because that's what's going to help produce cash, not only for you, but for your kids, for your kids' kids, and start to create a generational wealth. Because again, it's not to be rich, it's to be wealthy at the end of the day. And we don't want to just buy up businesses, we want to buy out neighborhoods, buy up blocks, and name it after our grandchildren, kind of thing. So do that, and just be positive. Support wherever you see things support is needed.
Last question, light skin or dark skin?
Gotta go light skin. That's a good question. Spun back a little bit.
Shout out to all y'all for joining us. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting, everybody that's been here thus far, so far. We thank all you for joining in and tapping into the Real Word Ministries. Like we spoke about today, support goes a long way. Investment goes a long way. And if you like what we're doing, invest in us and show us some support, I feel like we're in a space where it's either we leave things where they're at or pick them up and do better. You understand? Me, myself, I only got a few more years till 40, so,
hey, man, I got 30 more years left in the game.
Yeah, I might not look it, but I'm getting up there. So me, like, my mind state is I gotta make sure I submit the things for myself now, so 20, 25 years later, when I'm hitting that retirement age, like, I'm good. I'm not in a state where I panic. So I'm at a point where I'm creating a foundation for my future and the future of the generations that'll come after me. So I think a lot of us need to get into that mindset. It'll help us to get to the next level.
Yeah, for sure.
So we usually close out with a prayer. You want to close out with a prayer?
For sure, we can pray. Dear Father, thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to get together, Lord, to have a fruitful conversation between two brothers within the faith. Continue to bless Rickard's ministry and what he got going on with his podcast. Bless his families, his friends, and his connections, and the people that he's connected to. Continue to reach the people that need to hear this, Lord, because we put everything in your hands. So take care of us, bless us throughout the rest of our day, and bless the ears and the eyes that listen to this podcast, and help them take something away from this, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Sure.
So shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Catch us on Brick Network every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon, at 4 p.m., and also at 8 and 9 p.m. You can also catch us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/therealwordtv. That's The Real Word TV on YouTube. www.therealwordministriesinc.org. That's The Real Word Ministries. That's The Real Word Ministries Inc.org. Also at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real